Hi, everybody. How to make money during the coronavirus pandemic. Now, it's simple. I have the lowest cost. Well, we have partners. They're connected very closely. Actually, are part owners in these factories. So, point is, we literally get the lowest prices. Okay. So, how do you make money doing this? Like everything in businesses and all your businesses, it's set up is work. How do you make money doing that? Well, it's really simple. I got brokers that have been making literally millions of dollars a week off of big orders. And you can do it too. Well, how can you do it? Everybody says they want to make money, but what's the difference between the people that make money and don't make money? Here's the difference. A lot of these guys are younger because they get off their ass and they do what's called work. And what do I mean by work? They make calls to hospitals, retirement homes, big companies, big organizations, and emails. You find a contact person, find out what they want. You got California, you got New York, you got Dallas, you got every state, literally the state that needs private personal equipment. That means masks, gowns, visors, gloves, thermometers, sanitizer, everything. And you're even adding 2 pennies to big orders. You're literally making $1 million. Now, how hard is that? It's not very hard, but it's hard for a lot of people because they rather sit around and cry and think, well, this is hard and all this stuff because you're afraid to make a cold call. Well, I hate to tell you, but the most successful people in the world are salespeople. Now, as far as you doing it, it's just you doing it. Even if you just did it for 30 minutes a day and actually did it, you would actually make a lot of money. But all I hear so many times is like, this is the real difference. People either say, I'm on it, and they go do it. And that's the key guys I have. And they literally go do it. And they spend the time on the phone calling people, and most of the time on the phones they're setting up doing conference calls, and I'm talking to them and we're getting them closed and negotiating and coming up with all the information they want, the certifications, all the stuff, how it's going to be, how the down payment is. Down payment's going in escrow, or if it's set up right, it's completely pay after, and then boom, it's a done deal. Whereas other people say, well, I don't have a college degree. I don't have any experience in sales. I can't do this. I don't do that. My financial advisor told me it's a bad investment. I hear so much bullshit. I want to just take my phone and throw it out the window because, success is about work ethic and making it work toward what you're supposed to work toward. And if you put it on the right things, it's going to happen. It's really about your brain. So even Robert Downey Jr. says what turned him around was he was in, I believe it was Tai Chi or whatever martial arts he was in, but allowed him to focus at every problem. I don't look that up and show you because what I'm going to get to is a good point here. Junior and martial arts. He's more of an actor, but he did martial arts to get his life turned around and things. So he's giving this credit to, I think he's, what is he, Tai Chi? I don't study Tai Chi, you never did. But it's all the same principles. It's training your mind. Just like college. College is useless, but it teaches you how to read and it teaches you how to learn. And the second other big topic is not people that are afraid to make calls and direct calls and get on the phone and make shit happen. The next biggest issue is people have a reading problem. They can't fucking read. You text them all this stuff and you got a key information, or they're talking with a big deal and they don't fucking read, and they ask you the same shit you sent them like 3 times. Reading. Listen to Warren Buffett and everybody in the world. All they talk about is people that read. You have to be able to read. Maybe not. You don't have to be like a nerd and read slow. You have to be able to read as in get what you need out of it. Extract it. And that's like when you're dealing with a key person, you want to read and know what it is that you've got. I mean, if they're going to text you something, you got to read it. And what I mean by reading, you're going to pull out the key points. But this goes back to the mind. Why Robert Downey Jr. and other people are able to make cold calls, and why people are successful versus not. It's because you control the mind. In the martial arts, he's saying that it's, I believe it's Tai Chi, he's saying it's not a life problem, it's a martial arts problem, is the way he looked at it. Basically, he's saying that he took it into his mind and looked at it from that point of view. The point of view is that when you have a task to do, as in martial arts, it could be any martial arts. I've studied several back from when I was young that attribute to my success in my brain and all this stuff, which anybody could do. It's really focusing your brain, or a good soldier, 100% focused on one task at a time. When you're able to do that, you're able to accomplish several things. And that's how they manipulate and manage fear, because they are trained and they do each task individually and focus at it 100%, or people die because they don't listen to the orders. They don't do what they're supposed to do because they don't get the task done. Everybody fails. But if you do that, you don't have time to worry about fear, and you have time to worry about failure. So on the mind, when you're focusing the mind, like Robert Downey Jr. is saying, is basically is attributed to like the cold calls. Now, you make the cold calls and stuff, but what is the real key thing between rich and poor? Okay, not just specifically the mind, it's the fact that, and I'm going to say this secret, which I really don't tell anybody, but I'm going to tell everybody, but you don't really see it. You got the UFC and all these people trying to do fighting and learn how to fight, where they're more sport fighters, not real martial artists, not real fighters, like the masters and stuff. They've been doing it for, 20, 30 years. The big key difference is that the absolute best fighter from any normal martial arts or sport fighter, you know what the key real difference is? One, you got to have the best instructors and all that stuff. That's a given. Okay, now the next phase is what's the real key difference? The key difference is that when you're sitting around in your downtime and you're sitting there thinking about life and stuff, the best martial artist, the best fighter, which there's, only a handful. There's, so many key people in each of their fields, is sits around and thinks and visualizes fighting. So, like if you're a key martial artist, like when I go to the store or I go anywhere, and I was taught this at a very young age, everything you look at is fighting. So you're looking at every individual, every body shape, all this task, and when you train and everything, and you go over these tasks and motions, like you train 30 different techniques, or you get them all down so key that they're so fast and you've got them under control, that when you look at a person, the way they move and how they're walking, and your distance, your space, and all this stuff in your mind, before that person even got to you, you've already done 33 or 30, not 33, but 30 some different, or had 33 different, or 30 different equations of your mind, in your mind, of techniques and things, of throws or projections or attacks on the person. It's not defense, it's self-protection, because defense is a victim, before they've even got into your space. So, and you've done this your whole life, you're able to do a fight like in a blink of an eye. So that with sales, the difference between success and failure, between a winner and a loser, is that your mind is like, when your downtime is, you're sitting there thinking about, well, how do I get a hold of this hospital? How do I get a hold of this organization? You're doing that in your brain. So you're literally driving along and not listening to music, and not thinking about your stupid girlfriend, not thinking about drama, not thinking about poor, not sitting around crying about your shit. You're thinking about, how can I do this? And then you're thinking, okay, I'm going to imagine this and that and that, and then you get a little bit of success with a smaller group, and you realize, what did I do here? So I sent emails, I did calls. So you're sitting there thinking about it. It's in your brain all the time. It's in the subconscious. It's in your mind when you go to bed. So like a martial artist, you're sitting there looking at like maybe a figurine of like a little stick figure doll or toy or whatever, and you're imagining, or in your mind you're imagining, each response to every attack and every angle, and every attack there's different angles and results. And you're doing this over and over and over in your mind. And it's even proven that if you do things in your mind skiers, basketball players, you do it in your mind. Your body, the synapses goes through your body as if you're doing it, and it doesn't really know the difference because the subconscious is being trained. Sales and being rich and successful is the same exact way. Your brain, if you put your brain on it and you're doing the calls and you're doing these things and you're contacting the places, you're going to get rich. Lots of money. And you're going to catch the trends. You get to get on the trends and you're going to make the money on every trend, and you're going to do all your businesses and you keep going. So on this trend, the coronavirus, it's so many things, so many angles. You have unlimited ways to make money. And how many people say all the time, they're saying, well, this, that. All they do is come up with the excuses how they're not going to win or not succeed and not do things. You have to actually apply yourself and do it. When you do that, the world's unlimited. You go watch that movie Unlimited, where, he takes a pill and everything becomes unlimited. Well, that is reality. It's how you're going to look at things. So that is a key difference. Being able to focus your brain when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and putting your mind on all the time. If your mind is on it all the time, you'll come up with the answers. Even if it's in the middle of the night, you'll have a dream, you'll have a vision, or you'll have an idea and you'll see it, and that's how you're going to make it. So this is about getting a connection. You can't go to FEMA and all these other places because you got to bid and get on all this stuff, and it never falls through because you have to have a key person. But everybody's doing gigantic orders. We were direct with 3M for 1860s, 8210s, and I guarantee our pricing is lower than anybody on the internet. You're talking like under certain situations. You're talking around in the dollar range, which is insane, unheard of. To up to like the highest case scenario, maybe like $295 with lightly restricted use and not price gouging, but yet everybody's making big money because it's a big order. So that's how you're going to make money. You're going to focus and you're going to try and you're going to apply yourself, and you're going to try and find the groups that everybody needs it. Even though this pandemic is blowing out of proportion, even though we're not going to get into that, but we're going to get into the way to make money and on the trends. So that is how you do it. It's pretty simple. You just got to get the connections, and that's easy. You could call big retirement retirement homes, nursing organizations, big companies, could be any Fortune 500 company. Everybody's got to have them. So now is just like after the Depression. When you had money to buy up everything in sight, you took advantage of everything. Right now, you have your brain, and that is your money. You put your brain, your money, your power on making money versus your power on how to fail. That is the key difference. So if you want to do that, all you got to do is contact them, email them, and say, it's simple. What all do you need? How much? How many? Get the list and give me a call. And then I will do all the rest and teach you the rest and show you the rest and close the deal. Then you get an easy, 5 million, 10 million. Then we could put it in commercial real estate. You put it in like other companies and all this stuff and flip it up to 100 million. And then you flip it up to $500 million over, the next, 2 or 3 years. Simple. You just have to use the work ethic and put 100% effort on your task. If you look at it like life or death, and then you put your mind on what you're going to do, so set a timer for like until you get used to doing more tasks and being more focused. Say you got like 20 minutes. You got 20 minutes to get results, or you might as well just kill yourself. Well, not kill yourself, but give it up. That's how you're going to train your mind. You're going to keep doing that. Then you're going to break your next task up, and you're going to keep going and going. So, right now is a huge time, Huge time to make. There's going to be so many multimillionaires made off this simple stuff right now. It's bigger than the .com because there's so many. There's like over what is it, $8 trillion, $6 to $8 trillion spent on this coronavirus in the last 3 months. That's the fastest time a person can make money right now if you're in the middle of it than anything in the history of this country. Faster than the .coms, everything, because of the amount of people that are getting rich. $8 trillion. Even the biggest .coms weren't even that big. I mean, they're big and they're making money, but this is it. You're going to make money on this. So that's how you do it. Focus. There you go.